Graphing tangent and cotangent. These look a little bit different than what we were recently working with sine and cosine. As you can see, there are asymptotes. The graph in front of you is the tangent graph. The transformations are placed in the same spot. We have an amplitude, which is in front of the tangent. Then we have a b value that would indicate what our period is changed to be. And then C is the phase shift, and then D is the vertical shift or the new axis. In its parent form, the axis is at y is equal to 0. And what you'll notice is that the period is actually only a length of pi. So that's one big difference between sine and cosine. The reason why the period is only 1 pi is because that's the distance between each asymptote. Each asymptote is created based on the ratio of y over x from the unit circle. So anytime we have a y value over an x value where the x value is 0, so specifically on the unit circle along the y-axis at pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2, the y value in those two spots are 1 and -1, and the x value is 0. It creates an undefined ratio. That undefined ratio represents our asymptotes. So here's a visual of what I just discussed. At pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2, there is a distance of pi between those two angles. That is our tangent and our period. At pi over 2, we have 1 over 0, which is undefined. At 3 pi over 2, we have -1 over 0, which is undefined. Notice that it goes through 0, 0, and then we have a point at pi over 4, 1, and -pi over 4, -1. So these two spots right here. The period is pi, and the asymptotes are a distance of pi apart because of the period. Two asymptotes that we like to focus on are -pi over 2 and pi over 2. And then the graph repeats itself because it is periodic. The cotangent, now look at the setup. We have the a value, which is our amplitude. In front of the cotangent, we have our b, which again is that horizontal dilation, which helps indicate what the period is. In this case, the period is the length between the asymptotes. Our c value, the phase shift, and then the d is the midline, so if the graph is shifted up or down. Now cotangent is the ratio of x over y. It's the reciprocal. So the asymptotes are placed when we have a 0 in the denominator. So that's going to be at 0, pi, 2 pi, and then in the other direction, -pi. So what I want you to notice is that the graph looks like a vertical reflection. Also, the asymptote, the first one starts at 0, and the next one is at pi, and then a distance of pi from there. To calculate the asymptotes, so if there are any transformations, we take that bx plus c and we set it equal to the natural positions of the asymptotes, so 0 and pi. And that's how we can get two asymptotes and then graph from there.